So this is going to be a slightly different type of video, a quite different type of video than my normal videos about 2005, the show I watch every anime from 2005. This video, you will need to get up with the first episode of Tsubasa Chronicle, and I will count you down to press play, and then I will be a commentary track that you can listen to me shit on the show live in real time when I make comedic remarks while you watch the episode. And if you enjoy this show, I'm sorry. But we are going to. I'm going to count. So I'm going to give you a second to get the show to get it queued up on your computer. I will do that now. So pause if you need to. Okay, I'm going to assume you have gotten it ready. So I'm going to count down three. I'm going to go on go. Three, two, one, go. Uh, and I'm just going to be shitting on this show live. Uh, there's the OP first. The OP is alright. I don't really have that much of a problem with it. The visuals are pretty cool. In fact, in general, the visuals of the show I don't really have any problem with. And yeah, I think it looks alright. I'm not going to be talking constantly throughout the whole thing, so I'll shut up now and let the OP play. Why the fuck is this muting? I'm just trying to turn the volume up. Yeah, I think that the show looks alright. Like you can't really comment on the character designs because they're just characters from other clamp shows. It's very annoying. It's that's part of my big problem with the show. But they do look, at least the male characters in this show look slightly more proportional than in Cardcaptor Sakura. So I guess I'll just explain the premise of Tsubasa Chronicle while this OP is playing. If you don't know, it's a bunch of characters from other clamp shows, all but they're not actually they like all they share is their name and their character design, but they're essentially completely different people from a completely different universe with no relation to the shows they're from, which makes you question why would they even bother doing that. The answer is who fucking knows. I think they just thought it would be funny. uh, it makes no sense. As like, yeah, they have vaguely similar personalities. That's about it. Other than that, I think it's just fan service. Alright, let's get into the show. So, the first time I watched this, I saw this opening scene. Right, this is obviously a flash forward, cold open. You got Sakura and Sioran, is that his name? Seoran? Something like that. Crying and shit, and I'm like, no, not Sakura crying, but also, uh, what? Then you get the most cheesy music of all time. So this show has like a vaguely Middle Eastern theme or motif to its visuals and music. So this is, yeah, it's a bit weird. So they're chopped off by some sort of glass. Sakura has these angel wings. So far, I mean, nothing too bad. Like, I mean, sure, we're only 10 seconds into the whole thing, and the design of this city with the big arch thing, pretty cool. Kind of reminds me of, well, a lot of 2005 sci-fi, like similar design to Aria, similar design to uh, Eureka 7. So a big part of my complaints with this show is just why would you use these characters and have them be completely different? I already like. I mean, that's the point. Is that this way it's like, well, I already like this character. I don't have to, but spend time making me invested in it because, well, okay, there is one good thing about this show, and that is Sakura midriff. Sakura is a princess in this world. Look, it's fan service. Where have you noticed that when looking at Sakura, the camera is directly head on, whereas I was looking at Sayoran, the camera is further away and placed to the side so that the eye line isn't lining up because that would be gay. This is known in cinema as the male gaze. Sakura always looks directly into the camera when you're looking at her, but Sayoran is always shown from the side, which is strange because I bet the manga isn't like that since clamp females. Um, exposition. Oh yeah, so this part looks like shit. You may have noticed that the character design, like, how is his eye there? His eye shouldn't be there. So this is quite laughably awful. That suddenly, so no one would have noticed her walking through the streets until one person says it's the princess, and then suddenly a huge crowd gathers around her, but they're completely silent, just standing still, staring blankly into the space. What? This is it's, okay. So then it's like, what is this show's angle with regards to realism? Because clearly that would like, but if you grabbed someone and ran like that, they would not go sideways. So you think, well, that's just a visual gag. But then it kind of throws into question this reality's rules. Is this reality supposed to be more of a flexible, surrealist kind of world where the rules can change depending on what the story wants? Or is it supposed to be like a slightly more grounded, coherent set, like rule set? Uh, and the answer is the show never decides. It just switches between being what it just switches on a whim and expects you to think it's normal or natural. Then we get a bunch of exposition. Welcome to still shots with only mouths moving while characters spout exposition. As if these characters would actually ever say these things to each other. They should already know this stuff about each other. The only reason they're saying it is for the audience. This is terrible exposition dialogue. Expository dialogue. This seems decent. Sakura's like, I know you have a dream, but I know you have an important reason to live in life, but why won't you spend all your time fucking me, Xiaoran? Xiaoran? Xiaoran. Xiaoran, I do want to fuck you. I do want to fuck you, Sakura. Don't worry. But isn't it super obvious that, like, you see, until that line, I thought they were already dating in this world, due to the fact that the first time you're introduced to Sakura, she literally jumps on and, like, starts, like, jumps on, knocks to the ground, and sits on top of, without a hint of awkwardness, Xiaoran, as if they've been dating for a while. Because, like, yeah. But then, so I just assumed they were already dating until it got to this scene where it's like, oh, these two characters that are obviously mutually in love, they haven't confessed yet. That's strange, but I mean, hey, I can give this, I can give it a pass if they want that to be the dramatic narrative. Anyway, by this point, I realized that the show is... Shut the fuck up, Showa. No one cares. No one cares if she... Bro, have you ever read a story ever in your life? Have you ever seen Sakura? Bro. Anyway, so from at this point I was like, oh, well, they're clearly doing absolutely everything in their power to make Sakura the most endearingly pure and, like, perfect human being in the world. Therefore, she's gonna get kidnapped or die at the end of the episode. They wouldn't be squeezing in this much to make you think, wow, Sakura's great. I wish not. It's super obvious, essentially. Not just because of the opening scene, but it's super obvious that something is going to happen to her. They wouldn't put that in the show if they weren't trying to... That was supposed to be... Well, it's trying to endear you to the character so that when something bad happens to her, you care. But, yeah. But this whole time I'm sort of struggling to even pay attention to the show because I'm spending the whole time being like, why is this motherfucker from Cardcaptor Sakura in another show with a different personality? What is happening? Yeah, they're still gay for each other, just like in Sakura. So I guess some things never change. Also, this guy looks like the guy from Digimon with those glasses, and so I just see him as the guy from Digimon for the rest of the show. So everyone's saying that this motherfucker is destined to smash Sakura, and yet this one guy is like, and yet Sharon himself is like, it's wrong to have these feelings, even though it's so obvious. So stupid. So clearly this is a show made for children, so this might not be obvious to them who haven't seen a million stories that already play with these tropes. But to anyone who is familiar with media or any narratives, this stuff is going to be painfully slow moving and obvious, even though it's only been 12 minutes. It feels slow because they're building... They may as well just come out... They may as well just have a narrator come out and say, Xiaoran wants to fuck Sakura, Sakura wants to fuck Xiaoran, but they're not gonna fuck because we need tension in the story. It's just like every romance ever, which is why romance anime is bad. Except for the one where they actually do fuck, the Hideaki Anno one, which I always forget the name of, Karakano, which I also haven't seen I haven't seen all of, so I guess that makes me a bad person. Anyway, here's the moment when we show off a cool character design that we think we have from another show. Oh, and here's the bit where Tamara exists and is a Japanese-style princess. Look, it's a Japanese-style princess versus a Middle Eastern-style princess. Wow. This is what we call... Look, it's generic Middle Eastern guitar line number 25. Now, look, I don't hate this show. There's some okay things about it. Like, oh yeah, this guy is just the gay guy from Evangelion. I always forget his fucking name. What's his name? Except, look at that face. He has the exact same face and voice as the guy, the angel. What's his fucking name? Except with blonde hair instead of grey hair. What's his name? Shit. Sorry, I need to look it up. Evangelion guy. That's what I just googled. Kaoru. I googled Evangelion guy, and the first result is Kaoru. I love the internet. So yeah, I just see Cowardly when I think of him. Yeah, it's obvious. It's obvious. Stop, stop, stop. The reason they're drumming this into your heads, if you hadn't noticed, is because is because something bad is about to happen to her, and they want her to have unresolved character development so that you care about getting her back. This is why I don't think she's gonna die, but she's gonna get kidnapped. Because if she was gonna die, they would have her just be endearing. But no, they're having her have something unfinished, which means there's a motivation for the main character to go back and try and save her so that she can admit that she loves him, or whatever. So at this point, I was convinced that she was going to get kidnapped, and this is the bit where everything gets very. You can't tell what's going on because the editing is poor. Like, what does any of this mean? Is this a flashback, a flash forward? The apple would assume that she's disappeared because she was holding the apple and suddenly the apple's on the floor and she is not there, which would normally be cinematic language to show that she's off camera, she's vanished into thin air, leaving behind only the apple that she was holding. But then, as you will see, a few cuts later, here's Xiaoran somewhere which we don't quite know because there was no establishing shot. Also, Dutch angles to show you something is wrong, and a dark background. Something is so look. It's a Dutch angle, so you know something's wrong. And Sakura's there out of nowhere, so she didn't disappear. She just moved to a different place. But now she's a zombie or something, and she's doing the shaft head tilt. But something's wrong with her because she's not talking, and now she's on the floor staring blankly and doing magical things. But we don't know what's happening because the camera, like, I don't know where this is. I assume this is in the bottom of one of the castles, but that's just from the setting. I don't know. Like, why doesn't he run forwards? Why doesn't he just take a step forward? Why is he standing there with his hand out, just watching her descend? And where is she descending to? And who are these people? Okay, so now we know what's happening. It's happening over there, which we don't know. I didn't know until now where that was in relation to the Sakura's castle. So Sakura's gone. Now this guy's somewhere else. Sakura's now up there? Why is Sakura now up there? Wait, but she sunk down. This is what I mean by bad editing. There's no shots that convey where characters are in relation to each other or what's happening. It's all things just happen off camera and you don't know what's happening. And I can't tell if she's supposed to be teleporting around. I think she might be supposed to be teleporting around. But there was no language that communicated that because instead of her vanishing, she just descended into the ground. It looked like. Wait, but she didn't vanish because she's still there on the wall, although this was on the ground previously. But now someone is looking at her, characters we don't know yet, presumably the villains. Basically, the editing is awful, and so now she's sinking into this wall because it wasn't dramatic enough when they did this exact scene a minute ago because Xiaoran didn't try to go after her. Then we get a cheap-ass looking shot of Xiaoran jumping, Sakura falling, landing directly on her back from a presumably quite a height and now becoming permanently paralyzed for life because she fell on her back. Sakura's now dead or whatever. Cut back to these people who were watching. They say they failed, but what did they like? The problem is, right, we failed. No, this is only the beginning because she's clearly like high up in whatever ranks this is. I don't know who the fuck these people are, but surely the woman would have already known what the plan was. It doesn't make any sense. A lot of this is awful. A lot of this is awful. So I guess they ran out into the courtyard. I guess these two other guys ran towards where they saw a bright light for some reason, even though they're members of the royal family. So why they're fighting for themselves and not just having guards do it makes no sense. But whatever. You need to have the main characters in the story, I guess. He can read memories for some reason. Those feathers were the princess's mind. What? Her mind, except in Japanese he says kokoro, which means like heart or soul. Bad translation. Oh no. They've been scattered in the world much. I hope I don't spend the rest of the season running around the world going on adventures trying to recapture the Kokoro of my princess and it turns into a generic shonen anime. I hope that doesn't happen. Tanomu. Yes, you, child. Go rescue the soul of the princess for no reason. This is called a bad show that could have maybe been good. But no, they fucked up. I'm gonna send you to a book. I haven't watched this far before, by the way. Oh look, it's the symbol from Cardcaptor Sakura. This is just pissing me off and making me wish I was watching Cardcaptor Sakura, a far better show. The Dimensional Witch. Tell her about everything that happened. Yes, this is the only logical conclusion. Not a doctor. Okay, that's kind of cool. I like that. Where's Tomoe? Did they just put her in this episode so that you know that she exists in this world? Her entire appearance seemed to serve no purpose. I don't know who that was, by the way. That was Kaoru, right? Who just showed up. Oh, here's Tomoe again. I knew she was due for another appearance. Sending you to another world. I wonder if this is... So is this technically an isekai? Since I never watched the end of this episode, I genuinely don't know where this is going. I feel like are they going to be sent into the real world? Is that the joke? I sent him to the one. I'm sure she will know. Oh, it's the witch, the same person. It's the same person. Look, it's Evangelion. Who is it? Let's find out. Oh, it's a bunch of people I don't know. Probably from some other clamp show. That's some cool character design though. I'm a sucker for tall goth bitches. Trump really likes one character dressed all in black and one character dressed all in white. Yes. I like that they all just stood there in silence and the camera panned for no reason. Imagine this scene without music. That's what I'm saying. Imagine this scene without music. How long would people just be staring at each other silently? This is not anything that would ever happen. This is not how human beings talk. Then it starts raining and everyone just stands completely still in silence. What does that mean? So, in conclusion, I'm not a fan of this show. Uh, it's poorly edited, poorly executed, even if there may be some good ideas. It's completely transparent, artificial escalation of tensions, which is quite bland, and the type of story that it is already not really my thing. And therefore, I dropped it after half an episode, well, about 3/4 of an episode, 2/3 of an episode. But now I've watched the whole thing live with you, my friends. Please tell me in the comments if you enjoyed this format. And also, please scroll down into the description and click on patreon.com/no thank you, the O's are zeros. Because I desperately, most musicians right now are not exactly able to make money. Can't gig, can't go outside or busk or anything to make money, and therefore I am struggling to make rent. But I don't want to e-beg. I'm just asking, if you enjoy these videos, please consider supporting. That's all I want to ask. No pressure though. Everyone's tight on money right now. Thank you very much for watching. Fuck Clamp. And fuck Shonen Ronin.